In this video, we're going to walk through how the case notes work inside of Monolith. From your case screen here, if you click in the top menu bar on Notes, this is going to open up your the Notes area for that particular case. So to create a new note, you can see we have these options here. So I'm just going to start by creating a new note and clicking this button right here. So now I'm going to give the note a name, new note 1. And then from here, we can start to write our note. Now, I do notice that my editor toolbar is toggled off. So I'm going to click these 3 dots here to turn my editor toolbar back on. This will be on by default. It was just off because I had mine turned off from a previous example. So in the editor toolbar, you can adjust the font. We have edit, undo and redo buttons. You can change the font color. And then we have your basic font styling. If you need to make it bold or add headers, add bullet items, or change the alignment. So I'm gonna go ahead and start typing some stuff in here. Say note, this is important information. This is going to autosave for you, so that's just something to be aware of. That's what that green check mark is when you see it. Now, something else I want to show you is we have a bunch of slash commands built in. So what this is a shortcut that you can start by pressing slash on your keyboard. And that's going to open up a quick drop-down menu to easily insert some different types of formatting. So if I wanted to add a heading, for example, I can do that. Let's say I wanted to add a bulleted list. I can start typing /bullet, hit enter, and that'll put in a bulleted list for me. A couple of cool ones I really want to mention to you are if you press slash and start typing timestamp, what this is going to do is it's going to add in today's date and time. So really handy if you need to be meticulous about what date and time you're doing certain actions as you're taking documentation for your case. And then we do also have a slash command for a current date. So if you just needed today's date, you could add that really quickly. And one other really cool one is if you needed to add an image in line, if you type /image, this is going to open up your computer window to open a file. Let's say I want to add this file here. And it's going to add that in line to the note for you. And the really cool thing about that is it's going to be included when you export this note. So speaking of that, if we come up here to the Actions tab and we click and open this drop-down menu, you'll see we have a couple of options. So we can export this to an editable Word doc. We could export it to a PDF. If we needed to see older versions of this note, we can click version history to see that. We actually have a separate video on that. We'll link to it in the YouTube description. And something else we can do is we can save notes as templates. So if you have something formatted in a way that you really like, that you want to be able to reuse later, you can save this as a template. And if you wanted to insert an already created template, you can certainly do that. So these are all the templates that we have saved in our Monolith tenant. I'm just going to go ahead and add one of these here. And you can see it's just added everything that was saved in that template for me. So over here on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see all the notes associated to this case. If you hover over an item in this list, you're going to see a bit of information about it. And if you need to rename the note, or see the version history, or delete the note, you can do that by clicking these 3 dots here. Something else we can do is we can create folders. So if you wanted to put all of your notes into a particular folder, you can click on this orange folder icon. It'll open up in a folder for you, and you can move notes in there by dragging and dropping. This button here, if you wanted to add a new note from the sidebar, so let's say you wanted to add a new note that was already in this folder, you can pretty quickly do that. It's going to open any new note that you open in a new tab here, so you can quickly switch between them if you're working on a couple at the same time. And then some other things I want to point out to you here. If you want to look only at the note editor, you can click this button here, and that just kind of makes the note editor take up your whole screen, so it makes it a little easier to focus on doing the notes. If you don't want to view your notes in the folder hierarchy structure, you can see it in a list view by clicking this folder icon here. and you can switch back pretty easily by just clicking it again. If you'd like to see your notes sorted in a different order, you can click this button here. We got a couple of options. You can sort by note name, when they were last updated or when they were created. We can also search in notes. So let's say we have hundreds of notes, but we need a note that has the word iPhone in it. You can start typing in the word in here, and Monolith's going to pull up any notes that have that text that you're searching for in it. So if I had that one, I clicked it, and it'll open up that note for you. And then these three dots here, if you wanted to turn your editor toolbar off here, just to give you a little cleaner of a working space, you can do that by clicking these three dots. And then we have some additional export options here. So again, you can export to a PDF or Microsoft Word document. Here you have the option to export the current tabs. So in this example, it would export all three of these tab notes open that you see here. You can also export all the notes you have in this case as well. And then you can also create an evidence note, which is a note that's associated to an evidence item in this case. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this to show you an example. So you can see that, let me turn my toggle editor back on and switch back to this view. So you can see the editor looks pretty much the same, even though this is an evidence note. Really all this is doing is it's just linking the note to that particular evidence item just to have it a little more specifically related to that particular piece of evidence. But it will all show up here in the left-hand sidebar related to the case. But the note editor works exactly the same, so you can type in text, you have slash commands, functions just the same way. And that's how the case notes work inside of Monolith. Thanks for watching.